gonna do is now pay attention. Clips can be dangerous.
Black people in jail at higher rates than white people.
That's the question, right? Maybe because they
Yes.
commit more crimes than white people.
But that's not true.
It actually is.
They do. So every independent analysis shows that blacks have committed a disproportionate amount of crime. No one wants to say it out loud, but it's true. In fact, in New York, 52% of murders are committed by blacks, 40+% of arson, 60+% of drug deals. And so the question you should really be asking is what drives them to commit crimes? That's the question, right?
So actually, according to the Uniform Crime Report for 2019, Black or African American individuals committed only about 1 million crimes, while white people committed about 4 million.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
but
that's
hold on.
proportion.
Yeah, how about the proportion?
There's a lot more white people than black people in the United
It's
States.
a 60% white country and a 14% black country. So you just proved my point.
Hey, I now. A few things happen there. It's a short. It's a clip. Deuce was good. Deuce. What happened? It's a clip. Huh? I ain't hear you. Yeah. I thought you was crying out for help, gang. But look. Alright, so. Oh shit. A few things happen there, right? The worst, if you come for an argument, you're gonna get one. And it may not be in the way that you like. He gave her the outlet because they are correct, both of them in a way. So what she did was just read the numbers, right? She read the numbers. The numbers say that black people committed this much crime and white people committed this much crime. But when we call ourselves minorities, now you have some people saying, how do you even know the real numbers? They might be lying to us because they don't want us to know just how many of us it is, so we don't come together. You need to get out. You need to travel. You need to figure out how things happen. And that's not to even get you to look at the numbers one way or the other. That's to get you to see what unification looks like and what it might take. Because you don't need everybody to stop certain shit. We don't need every person. We just need a few, believe it or not. So when you look at percentage-wise, that's what per capita is. So when they say, hey, this city has the murder rate, it's not that more people got killed in St. Louis than in New York. No, not even close. It's just that St. Louis could have 1 million people, and if out those 1 million people in St. Louis, 500 people get killed, as compared to if 600 or 700 people get killed in New York City, where it might be 9 million people. So to even it out, say St. Louis had 500 murders, New York would need to have 9 times that, pardon me, to match it per the citizen. Can you understand it a little better like that? So now pay attention one more time.
Why are black people in jail at higher rates than white people?
That's the question, right? Maybe because they
Yes.
commit more crimes than white people.
But that's not true.
It actually is.
They do. So every independent analysis shows that blacks have committed a disproportionate amount of crime. No one wants to say it out loud, but it's true. In fact, in New York, 52% of murders are committed by blacks, 40+% of arson, 60+% of drug deals. And so the question you should really be asking is what drives them to commit crime?
Now, Still, you would say, oh, it's a million. And for she asked, why is black people disproportionately in prison? Now you have to go into the other side conversations that people are already into, but we don't pay attention to. And these would be things that I think could actually solve shit, right? Like, we talking about over policing. So everyone is aware of it, so I'm not making it up. You know that this is not something that Buddha's creating. Most neighborhoods with high populations of African Americans, black people, whatever, the police the shit out of those areas. We understand the mentality, regardless of what people want to say, right? We all understand what being judgmental is and looking at a person and stereotyping them. It don't make no sense lying or pretending it's not true. That happens to black people more than it happens to anyone else. We know all the stigmas. We crack jokes on the stigmas. We got some white people we don't let crack jokes on the stigmas. We got some white people we cool with if they crack jokes on the stick. We understand a lot of shit. He said to her, ask yourself the question of why, like, basically they will commit more crimes. I would have liked it to see that entire video because I wonder where he might go. And I like the debate. I would like to someday sit on stage with a dude like that and debate him. Respectfully. But I wouldn't get caught up in that. Sometimes I look at it like a mirror situation, right? A lot of times I call it how I see it, but I'm open-minded. So if I miss something, or my eyes was a little blurry or whatever, something distracted me, and you put me on, I have the ability to change, to adapt. Not all of us have that ability. So I see a few different things here when I look at the video. And this is another reason why sometimes black people be getting mad at me because I say shit like this during these times, but it's obvious to me.
That's the question, right?
So actually, according to the Uniform Crime Report for 2018,
shout out to her up in there defending us.
Black or African American individuals committed only about 1 million crimes, while white people committed about 4 million.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
but
that's
hold on.
proportion.
Yeah.
Do you see it or no? I'll point this out. One of the first things I noticed was like, damn, it ain't, none of us, we hardly have, I don't even see no videos where a lot of times black people was talking like that. Whole algorithm could be full of us. Somebody would be like, hey, yo, you gotta go look right. Why the fuck I got to look when we all know what the problems is? We always got the wrong people in position, right? Ooh. I would like to have more conversations with other people about like what be going on in our communities, like on a real serious note, like without the nonsense. And I feel like being a person who actually lived it, and it's not just me. See, like Magic said, if I probably take a little edge off the way I be on it, then you might look at me as one of the other dudes that did mad time in prison, been in the streets, trying to change his life and do other shit that's telling you good shit. So it ain't like I'm the only one saying shit like this. Like, yo, we gotta look at ourselves. We gotta, yo, niggas gotta get their shit together. Just be saying it. You just like the packaging better. But I even look at how other niggas package shit and I be like, damn, boy, you might get too embarrassed to be our leader. Sheesh. So when I look at it,
how about the proportion?
There's a lot more white people than black people in the United States.
It's a 60% white country and a 14% black country. So you just proved my point.
Why are black people in jail at higher rates than white people?
That's the question, right? Maybe because they
Yes.
commit more crimes than
the
white people.
background.
But
When I watch the video, how I look at it, my mind, like the way I think is a little different than people, right? The first thing that happens is I actually listen to what's being said. Because I've been surprised already too many times. What I mean by surprised is, I believe something wholeheartedly, and then information gets in there and I'm like, I'm surprised that made me feel like that. And whenever I've got that feeling, anytime I try to debate or argue, I've been fucking seriously wrong. I don't like that feeling. So I listen to the information, I run it through and I'll be like, I'm going off right now what I know to be actually true or false, what makes sense, and what's most logical. I'm not going right to conspiracy. I don't give a fuck. You go ahead, go to conspiracy. But if you do that, then you took niggas' attention off the main issue. And who the fuck ain't gonna say, we got some issues? Yo, you hear some of the shit they say, they be like, yo, how come in hip hop you can't be older and celebrated but in rock and roll you could do this? How come in hip hop you can't do a bunch of club tours because it'll get crazy violent, but if you was in rock and roll or a regular band, you could be going to small clubs with no security or da-da-da-da. How come in hip hop niggas could get killed while being famous, rich, celebrity people that create art that people love, but what the fuck? How come? And niggas be like, yeah, you know, that's just a part of the game. What game is niggas talking about here? Because then, next time you turn around, niggas like, this ain't no game, but it's a part. So it get real confusing, especially when niggas go to conspiracy. So I listen first. I pay attention. I assimilate the information and what's being said. Just because you think it's a lie, just because you don't agree with it, doesn't mean that you shouldn't fucking listen. Pay attention.
That's not true. It actually...
They do. So every independent analysis shows that blacks have committed a disproportionate amount of crime. No one wants to say it out loud, but it's true. In fact, in New York, 52% of murders are committed by blacks, 40+% of arson, 60+% of drug deals. And so the question you...
So then, if I'm a part of whatever anybody is talking about, I turn it inward. Does this apply to me? Y'all.
You should really be asking is what drives them to commit crimes. That's the question, right?
So actually, according to the Uniform Crime Report for 2018,
what drives
Black
them to
or
commit
African
crimes?
American individuals committed only about 1 million crimes, while white people committed about 4 million.
Yeah, so
But
yeah,
that's
hold
proportion.
on. Yeah, how about the proportion?
There's a lot more white people than black people in the United States.
It's a 60% white country and a 14% black country. So you just proved my point.
Why are black...
I've been arrested for murder, selling drugs, robbery. I caught a charge while I was incarcerated, attacking an officer. Y'all often hear me say, everybody I know did like a Don Flat, like everybody, like, I come from one of those communities where the police over-police it. Where you could possibly get killed any day over anything. And for a good percentage of my life, I never thought nothing was ever wrong with it. So like Magic said earlier, man, it definitely be about perspective. Where you at mentally? Are we saying it? What type of time you on? We all know ignorance when we see it. You just got to be able to see ignorance on a larger level. You know how people look, they say a picture worth 1,000 words and all that other shit. Like, you got to read between the lines. Like, you worried about too many other conspiracy shit, because it's a lot of black men that'll listen to that and be like, I don't fit the description of that, right? And still get judged in that way. Still suffer the consequences. I was in prison for a very long time, not innocent. And we all know that it's innocent people that come home from prison every day doing 20 years and they ain't do the crime, right? Black people, all black people and white people. We see a lot of black people go, I'm talking about the meanest, cleanest, most outrageous, most everybody know, like, I'm talking about, like, set up, we just want to get this done, man. We just gonna put anybody in here. Yeah, get him. Get your own. Who the fuck gonna protect Jerome? I'll tell you the only people that I think could protect Jerome. Or that might. It's us, nigga. Black people. So when I hear this, I think, okay, whatever they saying, okay, whatever they feel, okay, we gotta defend us, we gotta do better. Like, if it's a real stat, if it's a real analytic, it's up to us to flip that shit over and change it, gang. That's how I feel about it. I've been kicked out the black community. We can chop it up more on this. You can comment, let me know how you feel. You know, I don't agree with the stuff that you said right there because of this, and then I'll respond to you and be good.
Kifu News.